Hi, I'm Kaylin Kless, and I'm a full stack developer. I'm also a lifelong theater fan and have worked on and attended many plays. A few years ago, I started seeing attempts to save money and resources by using digital playbills, letting audiences read the credits on their smartphones instead of printed booklets. I love the idea, but the implementations I was seeing seemed flawed to me. There was a full page of instructions given out to each audience member explaining where to get their playbill, so a lot of paper was still being used, and it usually resulted in a download of a PDF version of a paper playbill. And if you've ever used PDFs on your phone, you know that they can be pretty annoying to navigate in that format, especially if there's a lot of small print and information there. So this trend I was seeing died out fairly quickly, but I still thought the basic idea was pretty solid, and I wanted to try my own implementation. And that was paperlessplayhouse.com. My first version, which you see here, was a pure HTML CSS website. Beta testers sent me their show info, and I hand coded a responsive site that they could reach by URL or QR code, and audiences could look at the information there. But obviously, in order for this to be a sustainable project in the long term, the whole process needs to be automated. So I built my Playbill Creator dashboard. So here, a user can enter their show's information to a form. I'll just call this new show for now. Show notes. And that'll get saved, and you can preview an automatically formatted version. There's not too much information there, so we'll go take a look here. You can edit this as needed, update the production info, and then it'll be saved. And you could even delete a playbill. I'll just get rid of that new one I made right now. And credits, if you go to the Edit Playbill page, you can add as many new credits as you want, and these all have full CRUD options. So you can create, read, update, and delete any credits that you want. The front end that the user interacts with is built in JS React, which allows for each form or display, like my top logo, to be separated into its own component, which I can update individually as needed. I also use Redux, which allows me to hold information on all the playbills in a global store that each of these components can access where needed. For long-term storage, I have a Restful API that I built in Ruby on Rails, and it's called for initial access to the playbills and is updated whenever a user makes changes. I used a gem called Active Model Serializers to get all of that information neatly stored. See, I have all of my credits nested in the playbill that they belong to. As far as styling, everything is done in CSS, including my top logo here, except for the navigation bar, which is from Bootstrap. My main challenge in building the dashboard was definitely deciding how to arrange my data in the Redux Global Store. For a while, I was storing all my playbill information and my credit information in separate reducers, which was leading to odd behavior, such as things not deleting or updating when they should. And I fixed this by treating all credit actions as updates to the playbills, and that simplified things by having a single source of truth. This works in my current model since credits never need to exist independently of their playbill. However, I could see a future version of the app where this would be necessary. For instance, a user might save a collection of profiles for actors they work with frequently, so this structure may be subject to more revision someday. For the more immediate future, I want to add more styling and formatting to the dashboard, and especially the playbill display. I want to be able to add cast headshots and social media links. And then in order to launch this as a service, the next big steps would be creating individual user accounts and a way to get a finished program to go live for the public for a set period of time. My current goal is to have the full service launched within the next year at www.paperlessplayhouse.com. If you're interested in contacting me about this specific project, you can contact me at hello@paperlessplayhouse.com. And if you just want to follow the technical work I'm doing more generally, you can find me on GitHub at github.com/KaylinKless, and I also have links to my coding blog and my Twitter account here. Thank you so much for joining me. Are there any questions?